A contract is, like I say, the most important part of your function. Don't give for granted anything. Like in this case, we were so happy and so friendly, and we worked for so long with contracts that in this particular place we didn't draw a contract. So here we are, and we were going to give a demonstration of the dinner for a very important client. When that happened, I bring the executive chef with me to study to prepare the plates. I bring the main waiter to service, and I am there too, just to present to the client what is going to be the day of her dinner. So here we are at her private home, and she has 2 or 3 friends, and we always honor that, to check and survey the dinner that we are going to have. The chef prepared 3 or 4 different plates for her, and everything was in order, and then we bring the full menu in written, and the client had the chance to try part by part, from beginning to end of her dinner, what is going to be the day of the big event. So here we are, and one day we were going to have the big test in her private home, as it is routine, and she has 2 or 3 guests with her, 2 that are going to pay for the dinner too. So I was beginning to say good afternoon or good evening, ladies, when a young man in a 3-piece suit walked in there. And I say, what's going on? Because he was not in the whites of the kitchen. And then, then he was there, and he says, good afternoon. And I went with my presentation, and he helped me a little, saying this, saying that. He knew the dishes also. At the end of the presentation, the client was a little surprised too, because I have presentations for her, and I never have anybody but kitchen help. And I say, what's going on? And I say, chef, what happened here? Why this young man came at the beginning to share my presentation? And he said, because I want him to learn, Liliana, to learn the style and the presentation. And I say, okay, but I was very, very, very upset. Then I start inquiring, and then I went to all the management, and he says, it's very easy, Liliana. What that chef wants is to steal your client. And I said, steal my client? This has been my client for years, and he knows it. Well, that's what is happening. And then when I went and confronted the chef, and I said, chef, are you sure you don't want to steal my client? Steal your client, he said. What's the matter with you, Liliana? I don't use those things to steal a client. And I am very upset. And if you don't like it, you can drop this dinner from me and contract it somebody else, because I am not going to put up with nonsense. Remember, I didn't have a contract. That was I was trembling because I didn't have the contract signed. And I say, oh, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't hire another, I couldn't fire him, because as it is, the menu was not only printed, the menu was tested, and the menu was ready for the client. They know exactly what they were going to receive, and her guest. So I continue, and I say, I don't know what to do. That was a very, very, very horrible moment. and I didn't have a menu. So at the very end, the chef acted very, very upset that I think that he wanted to steal my client, but that was the truth. And then he said, if you don't want, I don't perform. It's your dinner. And this is 8 days before a dinner of 300 people at $200 a plate. I don't think so. So I have to swallow my horror and my pride and continue with the chef. The day of the big moment of the dinner, everybody was tense. I was tense, the chef was tense because he was performing under I don't know what. And the moment came, the music finished, the dinner went impeccable because he was an excellent chef. The dinner went impeccable, the guests were enchanted, everybody, but I knew, and my assistant Charmaine knew, that I was trembling. And I say, don't you ever, Liliana, don't you ever, never perform without a contract. I have no protection to say, here is the contract, what did we say? No, I have no contract. So please, if your mother wants a cup of tea, contract. Don't you ever forget it. If it's for a little radish or if it's for a lavish dinner, contract.